Hello audience, welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on youtube.com/NoDQCW and of course NoDQ.com. This Sunday is TNA Lockdown live on pay-per-view. You can check out the coverage at NoDQ.com. Bobby Roode will be defending the world title against James Storm in a 4 sides of steel cage match. It should be one of the bigger pay-per-views for TNA next to Bound for Glory. Lockdown's usually a pretty big deal, so make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. But for now, let's get to your questions. Hey Aaron, love the show. Do you think that Lord Tensai will be something in the future? The Miami crowd and the Washington crowd weren't so into him. I mean, nothing is so special about him right now. I tend to agree with you on that. I think that part of the problem is his gimmick. It feels like something out of the 1980s or early 90s. I'm not so sure it really fits in with 2012 WWE. Now, of course, you got to give him some time. You got to give the audience a chance to get introduced to the character and learn his moveset and learn how he acts. So it's really hard to say with just 2 weeks gone by since he debuted. But it is troubling. I definitely thought it was a bad sign when the Miami crowd, let's put it this way, they were hot for everything except for Lord Tensai. They did not give a damn about him. And if your diehard fans don't care about the character, I mean, how is your casual fan going to feel? So I thought that was a really bad sign, and I did the poll on NoDQ.com. Do you think the Lord Tensai gimmick will be a success in WWE? And 68% voted no. But like I said, time will tell. We have to give the guy a chance, and we'll see where things go from here. Hey Aaron, I am in no way a Randy Orton fan, but what is going on with him? The last 2 Mania matches have all been a last-minute idea, and he is supposedly the number 2 guy in the company. Do you think he should go back to a heel role? Yeah, he's not even the number 2 guy at this point. I mean, CM Punk leapfrogged him quite a while ago. And ever since going to SmackDown, I mean, Randy Orton started off good with the feud with Christian, but then he kind of floundered a little bit in the feud with Wade Barrett, and then they just threw that feud together with Kane. So Randy Orton hasn't really been doing a whole lot lately. And part of it is WWE's trying to build up some new talent. So at some point, the top guy, the established guy, has to take a step back a little bit, so the new guys can have a chance. So, I mean, that's what's going on with Randy Orton right now, and perhaps you could turn him heel. That'd be a great way to freshen him up. He's been a babyface for the past 2.5 years now, and quite frankly, I think he's a lot better as a heel. I think that his face run has been somewhat of a disappointment. I just don't think the Viper character fits as a babyface, but that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, you could turn him heel, put him in there with Sheamus, do a feud there for the world title. I mentioned this before, you could always move him back to Raw and give him a fresh start there. So there's a lot of things you can do with Orton, and I think he'll be okay in the long run. Do you think WWE has something big for SummerSlam since they're doing Lesnar versus Cena at Extreme Rules? Obviously, they're going to have something for Lesnar at SummerSlam. They're doing the match now with Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at Extreme Rules, which if it was me, I wouldn't have done that. I would have waited till SummerSlam to do that match. But perhaps they do have something really big for Brock Lesnar. Maybe they're going to have him challenge CM Punk for the WWE title. Maybe they'll bring back The Rock. I mean, I know WWE wants to have The Rock for SummerSlam, but who knows what's going to happen there because of The Rock's movie schedule. But one way or another, I do expect Brock Lesnar to have a huge match at SummerSlam, and I'm trying to think who they could put. I mean, they could put him in there with Randy Orton. We mentioned Orton a minute ago. Maybe CM Punk. So there's a lot you could do with Lesnar. Maybe they'll do Lesnar versus Cena too, depending on how things go at Extreme Rules. So regardless, I'm sure SummerSlam will be a really big show this year, and hopefully WWE will be able to get that pay-per-view up there in terms of pay-per-view buy rates and make it a big deal again, because SummerSlam the last several years hasn't really felt like the number 3 show. I mean, I would call it the number 3 show after WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, but last year, I mean, I felt like it was maybe the number 4, number 5 show of the year. I mean, they really need to step things up with SummerSlam and make it a bigger deal than it's been. And they can definitely do something there with Brock Lesnar, I think. Which guys in WWE do you think deserve a push right now? Push any guy that the fans are really behind and the fans want to cheer for and get behind. I mean, Daniel Bryan, Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler, so on and so forth. The fans are really behind these guys, and why bury them? I mean, they're really over with the audience, so you should push them. You see something's catching on, you go with it. And WWE used to be really good at this. I mean, when Steve Austin started getting hot, they just they put the whole corporate machine behind him, and for some reason they just won't do it with these guys. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, a lot of people think he's the best bump taker in WWE today, and that people compare him to Shawn Michaels and think that he could be the next Shawn Michaels, but they don't do anything with him. They put him in 10-man GM matches, and then he's just another guy on Raw. And I mean, I'm not even gonna get into what they've been doing with Zack Ryder. I mean, Zack Ryder's had so much momentum, and WWE doesn't want to capitalize on it other than the merchandise. But I don't know. It just I think it's because the fact that there's no competition. I mean, back in the mid to late '90s, they were struggling against WCW, and they had to push some new guys. I mean, they were pretty much forced to. And now there's really no sense of urgency by WWE to push new talent. What are your initial thoughts on Ryback? Because firstly, I was thinking it was going to be the same old powerhouse character, but he actually seems to be pretty impressive. I agree. I think that so far he's off to a better start than Lord Tensai because I think his character fits a little bit more with 2012 WWE. And he's also the type of guy that Vince McMahon really likes. He's this big, large, buffed up, jacked up freak of nature. And it's going to take time. Same thing with Lord Tensai. You can't just judge him just based on 2 weeks. You got to give him some time. You have to give the audience time to get to know the character and know the moves and know the whole gimmick. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, either it'll catch on or it won't. But you have to at least give the guy a chance and give him a couple months to see if he does catch on with the fans. Hey Aaron, what did you think about Piper's Pit with Daniel Bryan? I thought it was awesome, and the thing they're doing with AJ is just perfect. Your thoughts? Well, first of all, I thought that SmackDown overall wasn't too good. Anytime you have Mean Gene Okerlund in the main event, you might want to just turn off your TV right there. And no offense to Gene Okerlund, but I actually think he's undefeated at this point. I mean, he teamed up with Hulk Hogan in the '80s and won, and then he teamed up with somebody against Mark Madden on Thunder back in 2000, and then this week. So Gene Okerlund's on a roll here. Maybe he'll challenge Undertaker for the streak at WrestleMania. Hope Vince Russo isn't listening. But anyways, on to your question here. Yeah, I thought that segment was awesome. I mean, Roddy Piper always does a great job, and Daniel Bryan was great, and even AJ has been doing a great job in her role. And I like the storyline a lot. It's really helping Daniel Bryan in terms of being effective as a heel. I think it's just great stuff. And hopefully they keep going forward with Daniel Bryan. And I guess the original plan for Extreme Rules was to do Sheamus versus Del Rio. And I guess because of the reaction Daniel Bryan has been getting, they decided to change it and put Bryan in a rematch on pay-per-view. So thumbs up to WWE on that. But hopefully their match at Extreme Rules doesn't end up going 36 seconds, if you know what I mean. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching, as I mention every video. And thanks for your support. Thanks for subscribing. Please keep spreading the word. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter, send a link to this video. And like I said, make sure you go to NoDQ.com for TNA Lockdown coverage, and we'll see you next time.